Hello, my name is Elias Malisman. I'm the Communications Specialist for the Cole Foundation, and I'm here today with one of our therapists to give us a little more information and a little in-depth look on our mission trips and how we go about putting these together. Hello, and can you introduce yourself for everyone?
Yes, my name is Kendall Fikes, and I am an SLP assistant here at Cole Health, and I am the missions director for the Cole Foundation, which that basically entails me organizing and planning mission trips for our therapists to go on each year.
Okay, so you were instrumental last year in putting together the Haiti mission trip. This is 2017, a new year, a new day. Where are we going this year?
We are going back to Haiti, and we are also partnering with Core Love again.
Oh, that's awesome. We've heard so many success stories from the therapists that went last year. Can you tell us a little bit, why are we going back to Haiti? Why not a new place? Or why not even just do a mission trip here in the U.S.?
Well, we like to establish relationships and build those relationships and go back and make sure that those children are being seen and properly taken care of. So we like to do 2 trips in a row to the same place, and we like to follow up with what we started the first trip. And the reason why we can't do mission trips here in the U.S. is because of licensing restrictions. Like we would have to apply for different licensure if we went to a different state, and also just insurance reasons that restrict us from doing therapy for free inside the U.S.
Okay. So our therapist had a great time in Haiti last year. Are there any health concerns that our therapists this year should have going there? I know, when you go to Mexico, they tell you should probably bring bottled water, etc. How does that work with Core Love, and what's Cole's role in that?
Well, Core Love is very responsible as far as they provide those big jugs of water for you to refill a water bottle. So the therapists are required to take their own water bottle so that they can refill it daily, and that just helps save on helps recycle with the water bottles, and so you're not wasting plastic. They're also very aware of the food concerns, and so they make everything there on site, and they assure that all the food will be prepared properly and safely. As far as Cole Health's responsibility and the Cole Foundation's responsibility, we make sure that every person is up to date on their vaccines, and we make sure that every therapist is provided vaccines before actually entering Haiti.
So, in preparation for going to Haiti, was there anything, I'm assuming this was new in a sense. Obviously, you had already been to Mexico, so some of the preparation is similar, I would imagine, but was there anything different that you just weren't expecting?
I think that I was more concerned about the trip, and I started kind of doubting myself, well, what if I don't know enough about this? And especially as an assistant, I wasn't sure. We did a lot of feeding therapy and a lot of oral motor therapy and some other things that I just was kind of less familiar with. So the special things I did to prepare were I did a lot of CEUs. I went online. I watched a lot of videos. I asked, we have our feeding therapist here, Kendra. I went and asked her for tips and sat in on her sessions to make sure that I was just as up to date as I could be about all of the different techniques and strategies and stuff for successful feeding therapy and in all areas of therapy, really.
How does the Cole Foundation decide on which specialty is needed, as far as selecting the therapist, the type of therapist that gets to go on these mission trips?
Well, it actually all depends on what the need is in the country that we're going. So for Haiti, their need is occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, and potentially some behavior specialists. So that's pretty new for this year, which I'm really excited about. We try to keep the teams pretty small due to the fact that we need the support here back home, as well as we need some support there in Haiti. So we try to keep the teams small to 1 to 2 therapists per discipline. Core Love happens to have occupational therapists on staff in Haiti, so we tend to take 1 occupational therapist so that they can partner with the occupational therapist in Haiti. And then we'll take 1 to 2 speech or physical therapists and behavior therapists as well. So we typically look at a team about 5, maybe 6.
With the application process, kind of take me quickly through that. What did that look like?
The application process was pretty easy. It's online. You just fill out everything, and then you get references, and then Jenny or whoever will come interview you at that time if you make it through the application part. And that part was pretty easy. That wasn't hard at all.
Did you have any concerns heading into it? Did you think you would get chosen, or what did you heard about previous applicants and the application process?
I hadn't heard much about anything because this was only my second round of the mission trip. So I didn't know if I was going to get chosen. However, I knew that I really wanted to go. So if it was in God's will, I was going to be able to go.
Through the foundation, we work to provide funds for both the mission trip and for our local projects here throughout the year. But we also ask that some of the trip be raised by you, the therapist.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all did a wonderful job this year. I believe everyone raised more than what they needed to raise to fund each person's mission trip. Now, we have heard, and there is a conception out there that you have to pay out of pocket. Sure. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? What kind of fundraising did y'all do? What efforts did that look like?
So we did have to pay for half, that's true, but it never came out of pocket. So they give you enough time to where you can do the fundraisers and raise the money in itself. And when your patients find out that you're going on a mission trip, most of them are more than willing to help and donate to that. So it only took me maybe 6 weeks, if that, to raise all of my money. And what I did the Chick-fil-A calendars, and those sold really big because there's a coupon on the back. We had most of the restaurants around town will donate a percentage of their profits between certain hours. I did that, and then just out of patients applying, knowing that I applied, knowing that they were supporting one of the therapists that treated them, they wanted to donate.
So what was it like when you got to Haiti? What was that feeling?
It was scary, overwhelming, but really exciting. It was a new country. I think the first, get off the plane and the airport is just nuts. There are people everywhere, and people telling you to go this way and that way and stuff. So it was kind of a culture shock when I got off the plane. I'd been to Mexico previously, so I'd been in a third world country. I've also, vacationed in different spots and stuff. So I was kind of familiar with the poverty and that kind of thing that I saw there. But as far as just, everyone around me was speaking a different language, it can be overwhelming. But as soon as we got connected with the Core Love team, they guided us through, the rest of the airport, and then got us on the bus or the van to take us to our location, and they were just fantastic. They took care of everything, told us what to expect, what to do, what not to do, some of the cultural things that we needed to know, and they just were really, really great and helpful to us. So it felt, even though when we first got off the airplane, I was kind of, nervous and overwhelmed. As soon as we got connected with them, it was just sense of peace and, okay, these people know what they're doing. They do this every day. And right. So it was great.
What did your accommodations look like? Did you have to stay at the orphanage? Did Core Love have off-site housing?
They did. So we did not stay at the orphanage. The housing that Core Love provides is very safe. I was not expecting it to be as safe as it was, due to the fact that I've heard stories about Haiti and how dangerous it is, but I never once was worried or scared that something was going to happen. The housing that they have is just like any house here. It's got, the cinder blocks around it, and there's always someone, not something, standing out by the gate, because when you go in, you go through a gate, and then you drive down the driveway, and then you're at the house. There's no reason to fear anything. Someone's always around. I felt very safe while I was there. It was really nice that all the accommodations It's like you're in a bunkhouse.
So we've heard some amazing stories, from you guys while y'all were there on the blog, the daily blog. If anyone hasn't read it, you can go now on our colehealth.com, search the blog, and you'll see their daily stories. Amazing stories, life affirming, and in this interview series, we've also revisited some of those stories. Carrie had mentioned a young gentleman named Franco. We actually just got him his AFO that he needed, and we have pictures of that as well. Is there a special moment or a special story that you can share with us?
Sure. I think there are so many kids that stood out, but there's one specifically. Her name was Jacinda. She was, I think Jacinda was 11. They're not sure how old she was. They actually found her on the street.
And these are orphans, correct?
Yes. The Core Love, the orphanage, found her on the street. I think the police actually found her and got her connected with Core Love. She was left alone, naked, digging through the trash. So they don't know anything about her up until that point. Unless she doesn't have an actual diagnosis, based on Alyssa and I and our whole team's experiences, we would definitely say she was autistic, and on the severe end of the spectrum. And she was very aversive to people touching her, to loud noises, she was very, very sensory, and had a really hard time interacting with the people around her. And then, with her background also, she had a lot of just anger about things, and had a hard time interacting with the other orphans and the staff. So she didn't have any way to communicate. She was nonverbal. And so Alyssa and I started her on a PEX board kind of thing, a communication board with just some simple pictures. And when we first met with her nannies and we did the evaluation, we were asking them, can she do this? Can she do this? They said, no, she can't do anything. She can't do anything. She's not able to do anything. We have to do everything for her. She's aggressive. She doesn't want us to do anything. She's just has no capabilities whatsoever.
Wow.
So of course Alyssa and I kind of look at each other and like, well, let's see what we can do. Here, we've working at Cole, we've come across a lot of kids that we are the first people on the ground with them that, they're kids that have been recently diagnosed, and, the parents are saying they're nonverbal. We've seen such progress in therapy here, and even though it's for a much shorter period of time, we both kind of had hope that she would be able to make some progress and we'd be able to make some breakthroughs in her life. So we started her on this communication board, and Alyssa was working with someone else. So I was working with her during one of the sessions, and we started with just the picture for more on her board, and we were swinging her in the swing. It was something she really liked to do, and I stopped the swing, and her nanny was watching, the one who had said she's not able to do anything, she can't communicate. I stopped her and I asked her through an interpreter, did you want more? And she looked at me, and then I said, if you want more, you got to touch the picture for me. So did it hand over hand the first time, spun her again, stopped her, and I asked her, did you want more? And again, pointed to the picture, and she pointed to the picture for me.
Wow.
And then spun her again. This time she verbally told me more, just the word more. And so I modeled it for her in Creole, I want more. And again, she told me the whole phrase, I want more, and imitated. And the nanny's just looking at me like, what in the world? And so I looked at her and I told her through the interpreter, she is able to do this. Just in this short amount of time, she's already communicating with me.
Hello everyone, my name is Elias Malisman. I'm the communications specialist for the Cole Foundation. Thank you for taking the time today to watch this video. Every year the Cole Foundation transforms lives here and around the world in truly extraordinary ways, and 2017 will be no different. It's a new year and we're looking for a new team, but the mission is exactly the same. We will be His hands and feet around the globe. To paraphrase Psalm 139 verses 9 through 11, it doesn't matter how high we fly or how low we sink, God is there. It doesn't matter how dark the situations and circumstances in our life seem, His hand is always there to guide us. For the orphans of Haiti, life is rough. It's hard and some days might seem very dark, but we have the wonderful opportunity to let Him use us and guide us as we help the children there. God has not left them.
and neither have we. If you feel the call to go and to be used by Him to be a light, then please fill out an application. We would love to see the impact each of you can make.